Record on this computer. Okay, I think we are all set. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Tuesday night Zoom. I hope you're ready to get lots of tips and tricks tonight from our amazing guest speaker. Today is July 2nd, 2019. I can't even believe we are in July. It is my birthday month, so I've already started celebrating yesterday. And I celebrate every day. Today I made Jason take me shopping to Nordstrom Rack because I feel like I needed some new clothes on clearance. I love their clearance rack. So I just take advantage of it when I can. And when Mother's Day comes around, it's Mother's Day month as well. So if you're not celebrating the same way, I think you should. I think you should implement this immediately to a whole month. We take it where we can, okay? Christmas is also a celebratory month for the whole month. But I think I start that in September. So September, October, November, December is Christmas. It's a 4-month celebration. Okay, so I am excited. We're going to run through our announcements. We're going to run through our top PRV and recruiters already in 2 days. Mind-blowing on some of these. And then our big announcements. So we're going to go through this really quick. Announcements. Let's start with the first one. There is a couple of back order and partial shipment items. Just be aware of it. And the only one on the list is the Go-Go Mango Scentsy Car Bar, expected to be back in July 3rd, which is tomorrow. So it's not that much of a back order. Notice if you are enrolled in the Scent of the Month subscription or Scent and Warmer of the Month subscription, just be aware that the photo on the cover of the Scent and Warmer of the Month flyer, it's not accurate. So it's not accurately represented on the cover of the flyer. It was not placed proportionally. So therefore, the Portland Lighthouse Warmer appears taller and narrower than the actual product. So you don't want to make sure you're advertising it that way and they are like, oh, this is not what it shows. This is not what I want. So the image inside the flyer more accurately represents the shape of the warmer, and they have updated the digital version of the flyer, which is now available on the marketing tab of your workstation. So keep that in mind. Additional rooms are now available at the Hilton Austin and JW Marriott if you are joining us for reunion and don't have your room booked yet. If any of your customers loved the Aladdin collection or you haven't got a chance to snag a collection, hurry, it will be leaving us soon. So it will be put into the Disney products are put into a vault indefinitely for safekeeping until they are eventually re-released. So this helps us make room for other Disney products to ensure future consultants and customers have a chance to purchase them down the line. Exclusively for Scentsy Club, if you'd like to have any or all of the Aladdin Wax collection, you have until June 30th. Oh, passed. No, you can't do that anymore. It's gone. You missed the opportunity. So just cry about it because you missed it. It was 2 days ago. And that was just updated today. So I don't know why that says that. Okay. Next one was Bring Back My Bar is happening. So for those of you that don't know about Bring Back My Bar, the voting happened months ago. The Bring Back My Bars are here for July only. You need to blast those to your customers and let them know that they're available. If you bought the BBMB sampler for 126 PRV, it's one of every single bar. Go live, smelling those, giving your reviews, engage with people to let it pique their interest. If not, just go off the descriptions. That's a great way is to read those and share them. But they can only purchase them in the month of July. So it's a great way if you find somebody that is like, OMG, I love Quiver and Cambridge. You want to get them enrolled in the Scentsy Club. That way they're taking advantage of always getting that bar made for them even when it leaves in July. So whatever number of bars they put in their club, they will continue to make. And they can always decrease that particular number of bars. You can't increase it. So if they really love it, I would suggest either starting with 6 of them or 3 of them, just so they can get it and they can schedule the frequency of a Scentsy Club order. So it's basically they can get a 6-pack of bars is $30. So I always tell my customers, you're going to pay $5 shipping if you do the 1 6-pack of bars. So I try to tell them do 2 6-packs of bars every month if you're a major warmer, or every 2 months, or every 3 months. So typically, most of my customers do 2 6-packs either every other month or every 3 months. So that's a great way to have it shipped directly to them. It's free shipping if they do $60, 60 PRV. It's free shipping to them. And here's the great thing about Scentsy Club. They're adding these bars, so after they're gone, we'll still make them forever for them as long as it's in their club. And they unlock bricks, the humongous bricks that they can get, unlimited purchase of bricks, just by being a Scentsy Club member. And the way you get someone to enroll in Scentsy Club is logging in, creating a little customer, like with their email and password on your website, not your workstation. It's on your website, but it's basically fragrance on their schedule and their price point. So it's very easy and they can set it up. It doesn't charge them until the first shipment goes out. So just be aware of that. I don't know how many of you saw Michelle Kimball's great video that she shared about the new product that's being released in the new catalog, but they actually got one for free in Marco Island. It is the wall fan diffuser coming in the new catalog. So she has her hands on it and shared with all of us this amazing product that uses our existing Scentsy pods, either 1 or 2, inside the new wall fan diffuser. And this is going to be a functional way to deliver instant fragrance. It plugs into any outlet, which also has the rotating base like our standard ceramic mini warmers. It's perfect for high traffic areas like mudrooms, entryways, bathrooms, kid rooms, RVs, campers. And just like the Scentsy Go, all you need is the little pods to go right in the top to enjoy a signature Scentsy fragrance. So this product will be available September 1st to purchase. Maybe it might be in the new product kit that we also get. There's 2 kits that will come out in advance in August that consultants can purchase. It is the home kit and the fragrance kit. So if you're working for the incentive now, those are actually part of the incentive level 1, 2, and 3. If you'll take a pick, you can look to see which one I think it's fragrance for the first one, and then home and fragrance for 2, and then level 3 has something else. Don't quote me on it, but it is included in the incentive prizes that you'll be able to earn those kits for free of all the new warmers that they have in this kit and the fragrances that are in this kit. And you do earn PRV for those. So be preparing your pocketbook. Come August next month, you want to prepare. You'll get these products early so you have them to show at your home parties, at your events, live on Facebook parties. You want to be able to share those. But if you are attending SFR in Austin at the end of this month and we're going to see you, you're actually going to be getting one of those as well at Reunion. So I'm excited to get my hands on it and try it. We met Maudie and Jimmy Swain for dinner last night, and she brought it to the restaurant, and she was showing it to me, and I got to smell the pina colada cha-cha, and we had it sitting on the table, and the waitress is like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Oh, you're so smart, Maudie. I'm going to bring this wall diffuser everywhere I go and set it on every restaurant table that I know now," because the girl totally asked, "What in the world is this?" And so she proudly was like, "Oh, it's the new product," and she shared with her. So that is all of the announcements there. Let's run into PRV really quick, and then we will get started with Superstar Director Tracy Damario. So recruits, we have one person leading the way, leading by example, the only recruit that anybody's got in 2 days. I make it sound like it's been a whole month, but it's been 2 days, y'all. Brittany Demmer, I hope I'm saying your name right, last name. I'm butchering all these names. Congratulations on your new team member and leading the way. If she can get certified by the end of this month, you guys, that's points for the incentive. Okay, we have till July 31st. So work really hard on getting your new recruits and team members certified so they can promote and get that 5% pay raise as well. PRV, top 10 Rebecca Gabala with 228. Christy Cochran in 9th place with 228. Amanda Welch, 8th place, 231 already. These ladies are already active. Holly Armstrong, 278. 6th place, Stephanie Hamrick with 305 already. 5th place, Renee Hall, 334. Lydia Shepard, 349. Tasha Drain, 369. And Jacqueline Martin, 372. And then it's always awkward announcing your own name, but I did turn in a party today, so that puts me in first place. It's so weird. I don't like it. Heather Gorsuch. It's better when someone else introduces the top PRB when you're not doing it yourself. Maybe I should have told Michelle. Michelle, you got to announce this anytime, because that makes it weird. Okay, but hey, I lead by example, and at any time you will say, Heather, let me see your numbers, because I'll never tell you to do something unless I'm doing it too, and at any time you can ask me, and I will show you. So I am very excited to introduce one of my friends, Superstar Director Tracy Damario. She joined in November of 2008, and she leads Team Scented Bliss. And she actually is one of the top earners, the top 100, and took Switzerland as one of the best incentive trips that she's been on Scentsy's dime. And I asked her what is she most consistent at, and she said sales and recognition. So keep that in mind as we're on the call today. If questions that you have about sales or recognition, she's very consistent at it. And so feel free to jot down while she's talking any questions that you may have, because she's going to give you some great info of that. And I asked her what is her all-time most favorite Scentsy fragrance of all time, and guess what it is? And I have to agree, that whole family like this and Mandarin Moon, I love. That's why there's one in Bring Back My Bar that's similar. Spiced Orange Harvest. Love. I'm already in the mood for fall. I may or may not have already bought a Christmas decoration. So without further ado, Tracy Damario, thank you so much. I'm going to unmute you, and you can take it away.
Okay, well, very good. Well, thank you for inviting me, Heather. And first of all, well, I'm a pretty simple person, so I actually do look like this most days, but my son had an afternoon baseball practice, and it was only like 92 degrees, so this is the whole sit outside and watch him practice look. So sorry I didn't get all dolled up for you, but you rarely see me that way anyways. So, well, again, thank you for having me. I'm really excited. I did miss some of the announcements. I came on when you were talking about Bring Back My Bar, so I just crossed that off my list because I was going to cover some of the things that I came in and you were already kind of sharing with. Two things I do like to talk about, though. One is it's very common, and hopefully there's some of you that are very new to the business, and maybe some of you have been around a while. But one of the things you'll hear some veterans commonly refer to are the J months. And you'll hear them say, oh, it's so hard in the J months, June, July, and January. You'll even hear people say, oh, I just take off in January. I don't do anything in January. And I hear these things, and then I look at their successes or lack of, and I'm here to tell you, the people who let the J months be an excuse to not work your business, typically you don't see a lot of success. You're not going to hear their names called out on promotions. You're not going to hear their names called out in the top 10, because the reality is if you're not consistently working your business, then you don't consistently have people to follow up with and continual flows of income that are going to follow up from that. So when we hear that, a couple of things I like to point out. Number one, and again, I don't know if you guys had any of this happen in your particular organization, Heather, or if this has already been shared, but I know the end of the month is a really big deal for those of us that are leaders in the company. We get excited to cheer everybody on, in or outside of our organization. It really doesn't matter. It's an exciting time. And during the month of June, my newsfeed on the last day of the month and the 1st of July yesterday was full of new director promotions, star director promotions, and there was 2 or 3 superstar director promotions. So it's so exciting. And that just goes to prove that whoever wants to use those J months as an excuse, it truly is just an excuse. I know I personally had one of my directors promote in January. So the point is, when they say that if there's a will, there's a way, there's always a way if you have the will. So I wanted to be sure and point that out. My husband just popped in, so you can wave hi, Joe. He's going to act like we don't exist. But so I wanted to talk about that as far as do not let June, July, I don't care what month it is, what day of the month it is, don't allow that to be an excuse, because the reality is that's exactly what it is. Along the lines of that, I know in the past we've had these $49 join in June, at least we did, I believe it was last June. And I had people say, you know, well, they want to wait for the $49 deal to join. And just like with joining or sales or anything, there's never a bad month to join, whether it's $49 or $99. If you help people understand, just like the $15 last month, do you know, I did not have anyone enroll for $15. No one bought the $15 kit. And the $49 kit, of the people that I do know that have actually taken advantage of that, they regret it and wish they would have taken the $99 kit. So the point is, even when we have those $15, we had the $15 promo or the $49 promo, if we do our job of explaining and of what the kits entail, people really need and want the $99 kit. And there's not a bad month to join. We have the Bring Back My Bar this month. In August, we have our sale. September, we have a new catalog. October, everybody is doing open houses for the holidays. November, everybody has company. There's never a bad month to join, and there's always a need to have Scentsy. So regardless of the month, the time of the year, there's always something. In this case, Bring Back My Bar is huge, month to be promoting and to be working your business. Now, to kind of go away from some of that, and some of this may be repetitive again, I know Heather's amazing and awesome, so I'm not sure what I can contribute that she hasn't already. But if you're like me, I need to hear things more than once, and even hearing it differently just sometimes helps. So what I do to challenge my team members when I'm working with some, I try to do some mentor calls and coaching calls, or sometimes I'll see people post that they need some mojo or they feel like they've lost their mojo. Then one of the things that I'll do is I want to get on the phone with them. Believe it or not, they still exist, phones or Zoom. The reality is talk to them and have a conversation. And I want to ask them some questions, and I want to see what have they been doing, what have they done lately, what did they maybe used to do that was working and just quit for whatever reason. And I want to challenge them to make sure that they have done, tried, attempted, or redo some of the following things. Now, the most common is obviously home parties. You know, we are a home party business, so we want to encourage people to have home parties. And I still meet consultants that have never done a home party. And sometimes it's fear. Sometimes it's just, I don't know anybody, nobody will want to, you know, it's their own self getting in the way. Whatever the reason is, and, you know, maybe you guys can even use this for if you're training with your teams or working with your teams, you can use some of this information. The reality is we all need to have done a home party. And when I say have done one, don't judge home parties by your one and only or the first time you've ever done one. You need to make sure that you've allowed yourself 2, 3, 4 home party experiences before you say, I hate it, never doing it again, or throw in the towel that you're terrible at it, or whatever your little thing in your head is telling you. You need to make sure you've done it 3 or 4 times. And the reality is you may actually decide, you know what, I'll do it if I have to, but it's not my thing. That's okay. At least you've experienced it. You can train on it now. You maybe know things that you like. Maybe you become the home party queen bitch. You're like, oh my gosh, what have I been waiting for? This is like awesome fun and great. So just something to keep in mind. If you haven't done home parties, if you have downline, it's a must. And again, not just one. So get out there, get some bookings, go to the training center, study up, do a training or 2 on getting bookings, and make sure you're doing home parties. The next thing are bag parties. Again, you might be like, well, yeah, that's a given. We can't make assumptions because there are some consultants that I find have never done a bag party. Now, I don't know, Heather obviously didn't share a lot with you, and I don't think probably many of you have had an opportunity, if ever, to meet. But I happen to have 3 children on the autism spectrum and a typical now 13-year-old son. And so when I joined Scentsy, well, in even yet today. My life is very different and complicated than the average person. And I was determined to build my business with bag parties. Because the reality was, I was never going to be an evening home party queen, because that's when my kids and the needs of my family were great. And just, I can't hire the 16-year-old girl next door to just watch my children. So I did bag parties. And back in my day, our basket testers were $85. They were bigger. They were actually about the size of our testers now. And of course, my husband let fly in. Thank you, Joe. But anyways, they were like $85. So I took my bag party and I made it into 4 different little baskets, because again, some still use baskets, but we didn't have the cute little insulated totes and all that fun stuff. So I just created my own little basket parties. Heather, you know, you were been there, done that. You remember this fly. Oh my gosh, Joe. Husbands. So anyway, sorry, distraction. I made it a priority. I made a list. Who do I know that owns a business, that's around people a lot, that's social, you know, church classes, anybody and everybody. And every single week, I made sure I had 2 or 3 of those bag parties. I dropped them off on Mondays when my kids were in school, and I tried to drop them off on, or pick them up on Fridays or the following Mondays. And that's exactly what I did. In 5 months, I promoted to director. And 90% of the reason truly is because I made bag parties a priority. And I could work it around the needs of my kids. And that's what I did. And then, of course, I flipped many of those hosts, so they joined my team, which is, again, how I got the numbers for director. So if you're not doing bag parties, try bag parties. I assure you, it's all about the host coaching. You know, you do need to spend 5 to 7 minutes coaching your host through the catalog, pointing out your, you know, bundle and save pages, fragrance grids, such stuff like that, and filling out the order forms. Again, when I say the word host coaching, if that's a foreign term to you, or you don't feel like you've had good success in the past with bag parties, my guess is, odds are you need to be spending more time on host coaching. So again, Training Center is your friend. Check it out. Check out the host coach training. So that's the part I want to talk about. Another thing, if you've never had an open house or a launch party, there's no rule that says that you can't do it now, regardless of how long you've been in. I know I've seen Heather post that she does her open houses. I do one each catalog season. That's just what I've gotten in the habit of doing. And it's a phenomenal opportunity, especially because now that I've had them going for a while, I have incentives if they bring guests with them, and they all know that. So they bring their daughter-in-law, their next door neighbor, their mother. And so what once was maybe 10 to 12 people turns into 27, 32, you know, it grows every single time. And this has really helped me build a regular following of local customers that, again, not only can I follow up with on a regular basis, but it's expanding my circle. And that is probably, I think, especially for newer consultants, is increasing your customer base is probably one of the hardest and most challenging things for people. If you just want to stay in your little circle of friends and family members, the reality is you're probably not going to be in business very long, because they can only buy so much Scentsy and support you. You have to get beyond that circle. So the open houses were a very natural way for me to encourage and reward by doing drawings and extra things and extra samples or whatever for them to bring people. And again, once they got here, I mean, not because I'm a pushy salesperson, but because my place looked and smelled amazing, they did not leave without buying something. And of course, I got all their contact information. And because I take care of my people and I follow up with them, they become my forever customers. So if you haven't done them, I encourage you to do so. It'd be a great time to do one now with Bring Back My Bar, get one going for summer. And then when our new catalog launches in September, October, you can have your fall one. So just something to think about. And if you haven't done it, make sure you do. Another thing that I like to tell my team members that if they've not done, or even if they've done, to try again, or find an event to do. Now, I know this can be really intimidating to some people. The first thing people usually say to me is, I don't have a lot of money. The second is, I don't have a lot of product or any product. And here's your reality. My first event cost me $10 at a local church. I had 6 warmers and 22 bars. Now, this was, again, probably 3-4 months after I joined the local church in my neighborhood was having it. So I was like, what the heck, I'm going to go show up. I knew very, very little. Probably did a horrific job, actually, but I went and I was like determined. That day I got a team member and I sold almost $200 in product, most of which I took orders from. And so it was a success. And it's not about how much you sell at events. I know we want to get all hung up. We want to sell, sell, sell. The reality is when you're doing events, it's the conversations and the connections that will bring you far more money than that one-time purchase from selling something to someone at an event. So that's what you need to be focusing on. Now, eventually, yeah, maybe you can do, you know, a bigger event where you actually have more cash and carry, but it's going to take time. Very few people, most of the people I bring into the business join because they needed extra income. So they're not going to have it to spend on hundreds of dollars for an event fee and then thousands of dollars for product. That's just not real for most of us. It can get real when you do some of the things I'm telling you and that Heather has talked to you about. It can get real. And it will be real if you're willing to invest your time and energy into training and doing some of these things. Now, so if you haven't done events, again, find them. They do exist. People, sadly, decide not to continue with Sensi consultants all the time. So I can tell you, you could make a list of places to call for events and they might say they have a Sensi consultant, but if you call this time next year, there's always that possibility that that person no longer exists. I know it's happened for me in my downline. I'm sure in your areas, the same is true. The other is there's always new events. People are always starting up new events. So who cares if you called your local church and they said they didn't have anybody who was hosting events? That doesn't mean it's never. Same with your local high schools or event centers that you have, your chambers of commerce. You know, make sure that you're calling these places. Facebook now makes it a lot easier because there actually are vendor groups, fairs and festival groups that are constantly posting things. Do not stress on how big, how small, or how little or much it costs. If you can get in the door, go. Some of my best customers are fellow vendors. You know, I've been at those events that were complete busts, but if there were other vendors there, I could make it something. By networking, connecting, and making connections and getting their contact information, assuring them, number one, if they ever at an event and they know a promoter that needs a Sensi consultant, I'm their lady. Secondly, whether they do or they don't have a Sensi consultant, I'm their lady if and when they need one. So you can still make a lot out of it, even if it's not some big payday that day. So I wanted to make sure you're aware of that. Fundraisers. Now, I don't think I need to probably touch base on this too much because Heather, I have no doubt, has probably trained you up pretty good on those because I know she has done some. It's similar to events, though. People think, oh, I could never get a school to do a fundraiser. Oh, I could never do a big fundraiser. Forget big. The point is start. Start small is fine. I do a local swim team for a local school. There's usually 9 to 12 participants. We happen to use the Scent Circle fundraiser. I'm not making hundreds of thousands of dollars off of this fundraiser. But number one, I'm giving back to my community, which is always fabulous. And secondly, every single year, I get new contacts and customer opportunities that I would not have had previously. So remember when I told you building your customer base is usually the most difficult and challenging for most people. It takes time and it's going to take effort, and these activities are going to give you and help you do that. I have customers that continue to be my customers, and they have been since I started. Every single week, like yesterday, I had, let's see, I think 36 six-packs of Bring Back My Bars from customers ready to put in on the 1st. Because I have a following and I have followed up and I have customers. I know their needs. They see my stuff and we're ready to go to town. Like every single month I have people come to me, local people that can come shop because they know I keep some bars and stuff on hand. They know where I live. They come pick up. You know, that's because of all of my efforts in the past. And I don't stop because I'm not done. I might be a superstar director, but trust me, there's still a lot more left for me to do in my journey. And so those are some of the things you need to be thinking about. And when we talk about consistency, I know I already discussed the reason why every single month you need to make a priority and find ways to work your business. The same is true in these type of activities. You know, you want to be sure that you're not getting just stuck doing fundraisers. You're not getting stuck doing events. You want to be sure that you're trying different things so that you don't find that, oh, I did 2 home parties and they were a bust. I didn't get anybody to flip. You know, I didn't get a new team member. You can get in ruts if you do the same. So make sure that you are kind of diversifying your portfolio of things you're available to do. Plus, this is going to allow you to train your team members. You know, you don't have to be the best at anything, but as long as you've had experience and opportunities, you've probably learned whether you did a good job or a bad job. There's probably things you've learned that you would do different or could do different that you can use to train your team members. And duplication, as you probably all know, is critical. So the things we do, we want to be teaching, whether that's the good things or the not so good things, we at least want to be sharing them in hopes of preventing others from maybe having to learn some of our lessons that we have done not so great. So that kind of covers the main training portion of just kind of some of the things I was hoping I could share, because like I said, you took care of Bring Back My Bar. Good job on that. The only other piece, which again is kind of a separate training component, is just I cannot tell you enough how important follow-up is, because if you're not following up, someone like me will follow up with them when I meet them at an event or at Susie's party, and they're going to choose who they want to do business with. I'm not going to steal them, but when I'm following up and asking how they're doing and I'm sending them a thank you and you never did, you're going to pick me. So just keep that in mind. Follow-up is the key to your future business. So with that, I don't really have anything. If you guys have questions for me, or I can just hang out, whatever.
Okay, that was so good. And it is good to hear reminders again. So the part I loved and that you touched on was expanding your circle, that you're like basically treading water. If you're not increasing your customer base, you will not have any business. And I don't think people realize that, especially new consultants. They feel like they're just going to post and reach out to the new people and be done. And it's like that you cannot do that. You have to be having the conversations and the connections. And I love that you said conversations and connections are the priority and will be the big breadwinner for you, because that truly is what it's all about, is making those connections with people. And invest time and energy. When you said that, I got goosebumps all over my body, because it really is, everybody has the same starter kit, and we're not telling you to invest money in anything. And if you're just willing to invest your time and energy, what everybody has the same amount of 24 hours in a day, you can get up an hour earlier or go to bed an hour later. You choose your own destiny and success. You write your own paychecks. And I love that you said if you're willing to invest the time and energy, because that's really what you have to do. And it shows by the people being on the call tonight. Like, you're investing an hour of training into your brain and feeding your mind and your business mind. And so I love that you said that. So we're going to open up for questions really quick. So you already got a first one. Can you flip a hostess who is a former Scentsy consultant? Renee is asking.
Well, our host kit and our starter kit are meant for one-time, first-time consultants. But what you can do is, now that we have that reinstatement kit, there's no way that, we can't give them any of the host credit or anything towards that. But you certainly could help them get a party going, or if you had a party, if you wanted to hand that party over to them, you could certainly do that. They would just need to reinstate first, and then you could hand the party over, and they could order the reinstatement kit within the 30 days of when they join. Like the same month that they join, they have to order it.
So I have a question. I'm going to ask one while we're waiting for other people to either unmute or type it in chat. So what if a consultant on here, Tracy, has never done a home party, and I'm only saying this as I talked to someone today, and I think it'd be good to have her hear it from someone else. And I've offered to do it for her, but she's hesitant because she feels like she doesn't know enough or needs to get enough training before she's comfortable doing the home party. So what would you say to somebody that's never done one, a new consultant? 2 people are willing to do home parties, but her confidence is not up there just yet. Wait or go?
Okay. Well, first of all, you definitely got to go. However, I would, if you haven't already, downloaded and printed off the product training guide. and carry it with you everywhere you go. And spend time saying, okay, diffuser, here's my 30-second commercial for a diffuser. Here's my 30-second commercial for a warmer. Just so you feel like you've got a little something to say about whatever you're going to have on your home party display table, okay? So that way, at least you feel like you're not going to stand up there and have nothing to say. But that product training guide is phenomenal. I had never used a diffuser before. Of course, none of us had used a Sensi Go before. Now we have the new fun product that we're getting. So, none of us know everything, and we all had to learn it at some point, so you can totally do it. But spend time with that. Secondly, your catalog. Spend some time in your catalog just to make sure that you're familiar with the fragrance grid pages so that, when someone orders a travel tin, they don't order it in a scent that that you are at least knowledgeable enough to know, oh, you know what, hang on, because I still have to do that too. Let me look at the fragrance grid and make sure it comes in that scent for the travel tin. I don't have them all memorized, and Heather probably doesn't either. And then the bundle and save pages. So those are two things that you want to at least spend a few minutes on. If you're super anxious and nervous about it, get on a Zoom with Heather, put your little display out on your table behind you, and practice with Heather or your sister, daughter. I mean, I know my kids, they giggle because I use them on more than one occasion to practice with, or they hear me, coaching or training with my people, and they're over there just kind of giggling. I mean, my son's 13. He understands the compensation plan. He knows how much, how often, what you have to sell to stay active. I mean, like it's pretty funny, but it's okay. Use them however you have to use them. You can pay them in scent samples or something. So, but you just have to go. No one expects you to be perfect. In fact, I like to say this, and for all of you, I can assure you that if you stand up and do a home party and you are perfect and polished, no one there is going to ever think they could possibly be a Sensi consultant, because you just pulled off the most perfect home party on the planet. If you're real, if you trip up, if you stutter, if you spill your drink, I don't know, then you're real. And hopefully they're sitting there thinking, I could do better than this lady. I could totally sell this stuff. Like, I'm way better than her. That's what you want. So it's okay to not be perfect. You don't want to be polished. That's actually your goal. So that people, like I said, are like, I could do her job. Absolutely they can, they could, and you'll sign them up. Does that help?
That was awesome. It makes me want to go do bad parties.
I'm telling you.
On their carpet, and I'm ready. I do it all the time. Like today, I was texting one of my customers, and I'm like, oh, have a happy 4th. And you know how sometimes when you type the word, it puts the little picture of what you're saying? Well, I typed the word flag thinking the American flag would come up, and it didn't. So I had to still scroll and find it and put the American flag after my word flag and sent it. And I'm like, oh, LOL. I'm totally trying to find the emoji and typed it. It didn't come up. And now I put the word and my picture. And it, happy 4th of July, exclamation point, flag, and the picture. Like, it's hilarious. But it happens. Like, I love that you
it means you're real. That's good.
Yes, and it's too stressful to have. You'll never know anything. I mean, I've only been in since 2010, so I'm going on 10 years, and I still don't know everything. I still, if I don't know the answer, I'll say, you know what, I'm not sure. Let me find out for you. I don't want to waste my time on trying to know the trivial things that I can look up real quick if I have to.
Right.
I need to just know, like, how to carry the conversation to the next point. Like, I always call it +1. Y'all probably know what I'm talking about, but it's like today, like going to the office to deliver products where I could meet 8 new people today. Like, I purposely put myself in that situation and then got an order. She came to pick, the lady came to pick the lady's order up tonight, and I'm like, she goes, oh yeah, I told the owner of the company, I'm not buying the wax anymore. You need to place an order for your own company. He goes, okay, I'll place an order. So I immediately, my brain went to, well, here, take this bag of testers to the office tomorrow. If you get 200 in orders, we'll get you free and half price. She goes, well, I don't have time. This week is so busy, and I'm going out of town next week. I go, girl, just set them in there with order forms. Just say they're here if you want to smell them. That's it. And you don't vomit of the mouth. Like, I think that sometimes people think too, and Tracy, what would you say about this is that they have to feel like it's vomit too much information instead of stopping and just saying, just see what happens and kind of acting like no big deal. How would you handle those situations?
Well, I agree. I actually shadowed a team member at an event because she's a phenomenal human being. I know she's a great consultant, but she really struggles with adding team members, and she does events and she doesn't get any recruits. And I'm like, you're coming in contact with all these people, you're having all these conversations, I'm just not seeing it. Well, I saw it firsthand. She literally is vomiting all over them with so much. She's trying so hard to talk them into joining. She literally almost chases them out of her booth, down the street and to shop with. I mean, I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's just too much, And you can do the same thing with our product. I mean, it's very simple. I mean, we have the safest, highest quality product in fragrance. Our wax is a food grade wax. It's a soft wax that holds more fragrance oil than a candle or soy product. It's terrific. End of story. Like, we don't have to keep selling it. There are some people that are always going to be Walmart customers and buy Walmart wax. Who cares? They're not our customers. We don't care. Because I have a line of other people when they see me, you're the Scentsy lady. Oh my gosh, I found you. I got to have this stuff. That's my customer. And so the same is true. We don't have to oversell it. We don't have to vomit all over them, whether it's about our products, about joining. We have it all, guys. We are it. So all we have to do is just share the very basics, and people that see it, know it, want it, will get it, do it, and join us. So
that's so true. It is so true. And it's so hard to teach that, just sometimes less is more. And it really is like, by me telling her, just take it, see what happens. If not, no big deal. It's you're throwing it out there, but then pulling back by going, girl, but great if they place. If not, it's okay. You kind of get a little relief, and it's your verbiage. Elise says, I don't have a lot of product to show at my home party, so how would I make it a good party?
Okay. Well, I will tell you, your guys' product kits are like way better than our product kits, because remember, we just had literally warmers, wax, room spray, and mini warmers. Like, we didn't have all the other stuff. So our home party tables were, looking back, they're pretty weak actually compared to what they could be now. So don't focus on how much you have. Whatever you got in your kit is enough. So, you've got a warmer, so you can talk about the safety of the warmers. You can talk about the quality of our craftsmanship of our warmers, the different warmers that we have. Obviously, you've got a wax Scentsy bar. You got a Scentsy pack. I'm not even sure. I know you got a cleaner laundry product. Just spend a little time. In my opinion, people don't come to home parties to hear your life story or to be lectured at. So my whole home party demo, when I'm doing my spiel, I'm going for 7 to 10 minutes total, because then I want them having fun, and I want to be interacting with them for that fun of smelling the testers, helping them with their orders. That's where I want to spend the bulk of my time, because I just feel like I don't want to just go and listen to somebody give me a training on fragrance. So it's really fine that you don't have a lot of stuff, because if you had too much stuff, two things can happen. Number one, you can overwhelm them with too much information or bore them with too much information. Or secondly, if you have too much stuff, they're like, okay, I could never sell this because this gal's got all this stuff. Like, I could never have all this stuff, and I don't want to make 15 car trips even having to bring all this stuff in. This doesn't look like very much fun. You see how it can go that way? So the reality is, simple is better. Keep it simple. Have fun. Fun is like the main thing. And make sure that you're engaging in conversation and spending your focus and your time building those relationships, conversations, and connections once you've done very basic product information. That's my opinion.
Yeah, that's good. That's great advice. Because I think sometimes when you have everything and you're going through, it's overwhelming. Sometimes all 85 or however many testers we have now is overwhelming. That's why people break them up and do the pouch parties. Sometimes too many choices are not good. And I think that is the best. Simple is best sometimes. And especially when you're starting out, I think it's better to start smaller and simple, because then it's less stress on you figuring out that you don't have to know everything right now. And if you're using the products, you can talk about the products. I think that's a huge point. Like,
that's what I was going to say too, is, warmers and wax, of course, is our, go-to. But at the same time, if you're new and you have never used your washer whips or a couple of the products that came in your kit, use them so then you can share your excitement. So when you go to those home parties and you have guests who say, oh, I already got 15 warmers and a cabinet full of wax, you've got your excitement, your enthusiasm, and your own personal product knowledge on the washer whips or the Scentsy Fresh or whatever other 2 or 3 items, so you can make sure and get some of those plugged in for sales for those people who already have, you know, tons of warmers and wax.
Yeah, and that's true. So Tracy, if you had a perpetual reward coming up, would you buy washer whip tub as your half price?
Well, if I just had one.
You just have one, and your hostess isn't using it. What one item would you buy?
Probably the laundry love bundle. The bundle.
And make samples and give them out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too. They call it, don't they call them our gateway drug? Washer whips is our gateway drug to Scentsy. They joke around and say it because once they try it, you're hooked. Like, I sell washer whips like crazy now. So if you want our gateway drug, it's washer whips.
I actually started recently, though, selling tons of the Scentsy Fresh. I made it a focus. I did an event, and I said, you know what? I am going to start, whenever we weren't really busy, I'm going to make sure I ask every single person who walks by today, you know, that I've been talking with, is, are you familiar with our Scentsy Fresh? Because people love our room sprays, which they're great, and you got to have room spray in every room and toiletry bag and everywhere. But room sprays cover, you know, the smell. The Scentsy Fresh absorbs those odors. And I now am like the commercial for Scentsy Fresh, because if they have dogs, if they have children, if they have husbands or men in their life, any kinds of pets, they must have Scentsy. I keep one in one of my cup holders in my minivan, like always, because I have children and, well, I can't have too much Scentsy Fresh. I have to douse, you know, all the carpet in the vehicle, the backs of the seats, like on a regular basis, because otherwise it would just.
I need to carry that in my car. That's genius.
Oh yeah, it's in one of the back cup holders of my van, and so about once a week I'm like, okay, time to go, yeah, and oh, it just smells like a new car the next day. It's wonderful.
I love it. It's amazing when you are intentional focusing on selling something or in your business. So like, I know, like, I'll go months without recruiting, but then when I'm like, okay, I'm focused on recruiting, like, you get what your attention goes for, and what you're seeking out is what you find. And so it's so true, like with a product, same concept. Like, I love that because I don't really sell much Scentsy Fresh. I did it one last home party that I had because I did everything but wax and warmers. I focused on the clean stuff, and people were buying, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I'm selling products I've never sold, but it's because I focused on it. It's just an
inexpensive add-on. You know, it's an inexpensive add-on, so it's simple to do, especially, you know, if they're buying Clean Breeze or Black Raspberry or a scent that it comes in. Again, it's just another reason to have the conversation. I see you like Clean Breeze. Oh my gosh, are you familiar with Scentsy Fresh? Bam, they buy it.
And they get it. I love it. Okay, so we have a couple questions coming in. I'm struggling with online parties. How is it best to get people to interact?
Okay, this is where I say, as a superstar director, it's okay to suck at something, because I'm just going to be honest. I am not your online social media guru. I am definitely your pen, paper, conversation, person to person is just more my strengths. I have tried online parties, and I am not your gal. I do my best, but I just don't know that I'm your go-to person. I would refer you to that online training group, because some people have built their business with them. I mean, they truly are awesome, wonderful, and fantastic. I just don't know if maybe my circle, my crowd, my people's crowd, it just has not been my, you need to try it, and you are trying it, and that's great. I've tried it, I've done numerous, and I'm going to have to try to continue to stick to some of the other things, because it's not my thing, so I'm sorry.
It's not my thing either. And I'm like you, Tracy. I prefer in-person conversations. I think social media is so weird anyway. It's hard to get people to even interact on your regular Facebook wall, much less now you're thrown into a party where you know we want something from you and we need you to interact with a stranger you don't know. It's very awkward. I think it relies on your hostess a lot. She's got to lead the thing because it's her people, right? It doesn't become weird at that point. So definitely join that group that she's saying. It's not my forte either. Not that I'm not opposed to trying, but
yeah, I'll keep trying. If you ask me, I would do one, but
yeah, me too. What do you offer as your incentive to bring a friend to your home parties?
To home parties, well, I do an online drawing, on-time drawing. And so if they bring a guest, obviously they're going to get into my on-time drawing. So that's the first thing I always do, because I'm one of these people that I want to respect your time for showing up on time. So that's just kind of, if you know me, you know that about me. I always do on-time drawings and incentives and such. And then if I do a second drawing, which a lot of times I'll do 2 or 3, then they get an automatic extra entry for bringing a guest.
Okay, and what prizes do you give away?
It varies depending on what I might have on hand, but I usually try to give like wax type of stuff. I like to do when the hand creams, like the clearance right now. I just bought a whole bunch of Sunkissed Citrus hand creams because they were on sale. Whenever they have like the flash sales and stuff, I usually buy lots of stuff. So it's products that we still have. It just might be a scent that we no longer carry. Washer whisk, whatever I can get super cheap and awesome. And I even got I did some mini because I got some for $8. I'm like, I'll buy some of these and do them for prizes too.
Prizes. Yeah. What if somebody brings a friend? What would you give the person for bringing a friend?
Well, I usually do extra drawings. Like they
slips only. No prize. Okay, that's good for the prize. Okay. I love that, because then you're not out anything extra. It's like, oh, here's 3 extra entries. Smart.
That's just what I've always done. But
I love it. Brianna, diffusers is my gateway. I've sold 10 since I started 70 days ago. I don't think I've sold 10 in my career. That's really good.
It's awesome.
Wow.
Smart lady. That's a big PRV item. Good job. Good for you.
Yes, that's awesome. Okay, what would you recommend on a strong beach scent?
Strong, well, Ocean's the only thing. Ocean is the first thing that comes into mind, because a lot of them are not real strong.
Maybe.
I mean, they're good. The Waves and Wonder is good, but I don't consider it strong. By the Sea's not strong. I think Ocean's probably our strongest.
Yeah, Ocean. Okay, good. And then Holly says Kimberly Polito, who did our call a couple weeks ago, is great at online stuff. Check her out. They are
There's
tough.
your hookup. Yeah, there's your hookup.
Yeah. And Danielle says, I'm from Minnesota, where mosquitoes are the state bird. LOL, I sat outside with my Scentsy Go and coconut lemongrass, and they left me alone. Now I have 5 people excited about the Scentsy Go. That's awesome. And I think it really is.
That's great. I took my Scentsy Go, I took it on the baseball tournament. I had it in my hotel room, and a couple of moms were coming to pick up some shirts that they had ordered. And so when they came in my room, of course, they saw it, and it smelled amazing. And so I took one, I brought my bin of my pods, and I took one to the following practice because she'd messaged me after that she wanted one. So I had all the moms, like bees on honey, smelling all the pods. And I ended up getting 3 more orders for them from baseball parents. So yeah, it's so true. You need to have everything. You need to keep your Scentsy with you. Make sure you're sharing it. And I wasn't salesy at all, because I had it. They saw it. They want to know what it is. Why does it smell good? And when you take a tub of fragrance anywhere, women, they're going to be all over that. So it was good. It is
so true. I'm going to call her out for a minute, but Elena's on here. She texted me the other morning and goes, okay, I'm going to the doctor. What do I do? And I'm like, wear a Scentsy shirt, take your testers in there with you, and have catalogs and order forms ready, and use the excuse, I say. The tagline is, oh, girl, I had to bring these in here. It is so hot, I cannot even risk them melting in the car. Right? That is my favorite tagline of all time. And then I said, I want you to put the testers out and fake sort, like you're sorting, like you're fake working. I don't care if you're just moving it from left to right. Somebody's going to ask you if it's lip gloss, and they're going to ask you what you're doing. Well, I get a phone call. Elena, please, I'm going to unmute you so you can tell this end of the story. Wait. Oh. How come it doesn't let me unmute you? You're going to have to unmute yourself, because I don't know why it won't let me.
Okay, there we go. Yes, it worked. It was perfect. You're right. I said, okay, I'm going to the doctor. I need your help. Please guide me. Tell me what to do. And I have to say, her advice was by far the best. I literally copied her word for word, and it worked. And not only did it work, but it turned into only a one small order. It was only one, because it's a very small office, so there's only 4 people. And at that time, it was only the one particular nurse who wanted to order. And then I told Heather, oh no, okay, look, it's only going to be one order. Tell me where do I go from here now? And she said, let's flip it. Let's try to turn it into a $200 plus party. Tell her to ask her family, friends, and I did. And she's keeping the basket. I'm like, yes. And then I thought, I have to. Well, most of us, for 4th of July, get together with family, girlfriends, whatnot. So I was like, this might turn out to be pretty good. So I'm very excited. I cannot wait to see how it turns out.
Good job.
Thank you.
And what I love is that she could have stopped and just taken the $26 order or $50 order, whatever it was. But that's your window. That's what you have to recognize, are these windows where you can +1 it. And so say, oh, keep the bag, girl. Just share it with your friends and family, and let's try to get you some free and half price. Stop, and that's it. And that's what happened. And then when she comes back, that's when we're going to use the host rewards and try to get her a host to sign up and say, girl, we can get you a starter kit for $39 if you want it. For, let's say she has 200 in orders, right? So that's the time to mention joining after it's already done. There's a series. It's like how I referred to first base, second base, third base dating. Okay, we got to take it slow. You can't go straight to home run. Okay, it doesn't work like that. Okay, it's not good. So any other questions for Tracy? This was awesome. I have so many notes, not even joking, on my paper.
Well, I hope if you guys are going to SFR, if you see me, you'll come up and you'll say hi. I would love to meet you and say hi. And I really do appreciate you having me on, Heather.
No, thank you so much, Tracy. I so appreciate it. You had so much good information. And is it okay to share your address with our peeps on here? Because they like to send little cards. Okay, good.
Yeah, let me know if you're ever in Missouri, anytime. Just let me know. You can do lunch.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tracy. I appreciate it.
All right. Sure. All right. Night-night.
All right. Bye, guys. Y'all have a great night, and we'll see you next Tuesday night. I believe our speaker next week is Superstar Director Karen Bettis, who was one of our guest speakers at H-Town Showdown and is phenomenal. So you are going to be wanting to hear from her. So next Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. I hope you all saw my little note in the chat. I don't care if you're entering in Michelle's drawing or not, if you're in my group, send me an email with Zoom chat as the title. In your email, tell me 1 or 2 of your favorite tips or ideas that you learned from tonight's call. I am going to do a little special giveaway, and I'll do the same next week. So I hope you encourage your team members to get on, and we'll see you next Tuesday night. Y'all have a really great night. Bye, everybody.